What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a minute since I've released a video, but I got more news for you coming straight from Torino down to you here in the 6 in Toronto. As per usual, I got my notes, but before we jump into it, I'm going to get you to like and subscribe to the channel. But without further ado, we're going to jump into this. As per usual, what I usually do is I clarify some Mercato news. I also go over any possible games that might be going on for Italy or for Juve. In case for Juve this weekend, huge game against Roma. We will touch on that a little bit later on in the show. But to start off, excuse me, some Mercato news. I'm going to touch on some rumors for international. During international, you know that typically. Sorry, just give me 1 second. You know that typically that's when all the rumors for the Mercato start to flow, because let's be honest, pundits and reporters are bored. So with that being said, let's jump into some of those market news, some of that market news that include our beloved Juventus. So to start off, Juve FC has started to talk, where they posted earlier about Paul Pogba. So juvefc.com via La Gazzetta dello Sport via Football Italia revealed recently that Juventus is looking to offload some of their current players so they can offer Pogba an opportunity to come back to Juventus. But now, apparently, Juventus is going to be experiencing some fight from a good friend of theirs in Real Madrid. So with that being said, Tutto and Mercato Web claimed that Florentino Perez is keen on bringing Pogba to the squad, including Erling Haaland, who's actually been been linked heavily with a move to Man City. We're not going to get into that because we don't give a shit about Real Madrid, but this does hinder the possibility of a reunion between Paul Pogba and Juventus. The issue with that, though, is, I mean, depending on who Real Madrid can give Paul Pogba as far as coming in, I know the love of Paul Pogba for Torino gives them a strong opportunity to bring Paul Pogba back. So I guess they're going to go in on that and hope that that proves to be the reason why he does resign. As we all know, he is a free agent at the end of the year. In more transfer news and another flip of the switch, so to speak, but stayed in the EPL, Juventus could offer McKinney in exchange for one of their midfield targets. So right now, it is being reported that Juventus is looking at adding, and it's actually been no secret, to tell you the truth. It's actually been catching a lot of waves since the summer. Yeah, we added Locatelli, but it's been something that's been flying around for a lot, so this has nothing to do with the international break. But Aurelien Tchouameni, probably butchered that name. But anyways, he's looked awesome over the last couple years, and the 21-year-old is, well, Juve's keen on the 21-year-old, but now they're saying that for Juve to get him, they might be offering Weston McKennie, who seems to be on his way out regardless, but they're looking to use him into bringing in Tchouameni. So yeah, I mean, I think that'd be great, because we all know Juve's trying to get rid of Weston McKennie. Weston McKennie has not been good. He has not been anywhere close to what I mean, Juve has, well, he wasn't anywhere close to what he was in the first half of last season. Ever since the second half, he's just went downhill. I would love to see Juventus pull this off. I'd love for them to get Tchouameni. He'd be a great addition to the midfield. I know Juve has well, there's been mixed reports, but apparently there's 3 untouchables for Juve in the midfield. Obviously, Manuel Locatelli, Rodrigo Bentancur, who's a favorite of Allegri, and apparently reports are saying that Artur is also a favorite of Agnelli, but everybody else is expendable. So to bring over Tchouaméni would be huge for Juventus. I think if Arthur can go into what is expected of them under Allegri, Rodrigo Bentancur has looked really, really good under Allegri. Locatelli's look like Locatelli. Things are starting to change in that midfield, which honestly is what we damn well need, right? So Weston McKennie buy, Tchouaméni come in. I totally take that swap deal if that happens. A part of the midfield right now. In other news, Rabiot is being tipped to leave Juventus in at any time now. So what happens is there's reports emerging that Newcastle is looking to take him, because now Newcastle is a newfound billionaire soccer squad. So with that being said, it looks like the rest of the midfielders, as far as Aaron Ramsey, Adrien Rabiot, and again, aforementioned Weston McKennie, look to be on their way out. So what it's looking like right now is that Newcastle is going to be hot on the trails for Adrien Rabiot, which would be another welcome sight if we can get more money too. Remember, Adrien Rabiot was a free transfer. For anything we sell him for is a positive in their book, right? And we like to get that wage off our wage bill off of our books, right? So that would be an awesome opportunity for Juventus. Seems to me that Newcastle is going after a lot of Juventus players. I don't know what it is about Juventus players and why. Maybe it's the black and white thing. Maybe they feel like, hey, you know what? We throw a Newcastle jersey on them. They won't notice the difference. But there's been other reports as well that Newcastle is looking to shop at another 2 Juventus players. One of them's actually been a rumor for ever since Newcastle got taken over. But they're looking to lure Matthias de Ligt over to them. But they also look to make a play for Federico Chiesa. So I see one of them going, and I don't see Chiesa being that one. So I don't think de Ligt is going to leave for Newcastle. I mean, Raiola, if he has his way, it can happen. But there's also some stiff competition for PSG and Manchester City for de Ligt. There's been rumors, I think, de Ligt going to Man United. There's been a lot. I don't know about, was it Man United? There's another, Chelsea. Sorry, Chelsea. So, I mean, I hope it doesn't happen, but those English teams have money, right? But one thing I hope doesn't happen at all would be the sale of Chiesa. I don't think that happens at all, because I truthfully think Juventus is trying to start something with the whole Chiesa, Dybala, Morata thing going on there as far as up top. The Italian national team and Juventus is huge together, and that needs to continue. And having Locatelli, Chiesa, Federico Bernardeschi, you got Chiellini and Bonucci. It's important for Juventus to hold on to their Italian talent. So, I mean, that's pretty much what is going on there as far as some Mercato news of possibly players leaving. But I mean, let's not have a damper of who might be leaving, what the rumors talk about leaving. Let's talk about something happy and who might actually be staying. So one of the players that's a free agent at the end of this year is the aforementioned. I just mentioned him about 5 seconds ago, Federico Bernardeschi, and it looks like Juventus want to keep him, but only at a wage cap. Currently, Federico Bernardeschi is getting paid 4 million euros a season, and they're looking to cut that in half almost at either 2.5 to 3 million euros a season. So if they can keep him at that, I mean, that would be awesome. I don't think Bernardeschi, I would like to see Bernardeschi leave to start his own thing at a club where he's going to get the playing time, but Allegri likes him. So I see Juve keeping him at all costs, especially if it's at a cheaper value. It just makes sense. It just makes sense for Juventus to do that. If Bernardeschi sees that it makes sense, then hey, that's awesome. But I mean, since Euro, Bernardeschi has actually looked really, really good. But wearing that Italian jersey, it's changed him. He's a lot better than what he was over the last couple of years. So hopefully that continues to change. He did. I mean, it's a big reason why we are 2-0 in Champions League. He did provide that assist on the Chiesa goal. So if he is not able or willing to take a pay cut, we could see a move in January as a pawn in another transfer. So, whew, that was a lot to get through. Now, on to this weekend. The big match, Juve versus Roma. I think it is the biggest match of the weekend. Just going to touch on some Serie A news on what to look forward to. We'll leave Juventus against Roma as the last thing we touch on because, let's be honest, that's what we watch this channel for, right? Is to talk about Juventus. But I want to start branching out into other teams, talking about other parts of Serie A because I want to bring as much Serie A news to you guys as well. So on October 16th, which is tomorrow, we have 3 games. There is a big game tomorrow at 12 o'clock, which is weird that the 12 o'clock game is bigger than the 2:45 game. But tomorrow we have Spezia taking on Salerno, essentially. Salerno is visiting Spezia, so that's on at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Followed by 12 o'clock, Lazio versus Inter Milan. That's going to be a game to watch. That's huge right now because, when you look at the table, Inter is in 3rd place at 17 points. Lazio is 6 points behind in 6th place. So win by Lazio does bring them within 3. Within 3, but more importantly, can make them 5th, which is just a spot up, but would be huge because if Juve go on to win their game against Roma, that brings them within actually the same amount, Lazio and Inter. So it's big all around. The 2:45 game is AC Milan at Hellas Verona. I'm hoping both Inter and AC lose because that's what Juve need right now. Are Juve in the talks of top 4 again? That's another question. After a poor 0-2-2 start, do we consider them a top 4 team now? Is Scudetto still out of the picture? That could be out of the picture. The more Napoli win, Juve need to pretty much win all out if they want any chance of winning the Scudetto. So it's going to be tough. The Monday matchup is Venezia versus Fiorentina. It's another big match, including a top 5 team currently in Serie A. But soccer, Sunday football, Sunday calcio, Domenico, however you want to paint it. A lot of games going on Sunday, as per usual. That's the day that if you work full time, you get up on Sundays. You don't even change into anything. You might throw on your favorite team's jersey, and that's basically it. And then you stay in bed and watch as many games as possible. The early game is Cagliari against Sampdoria. Pretty good game. All games in Serie A have proven to be pretty good. It's a pretty tight race, no matter how you cut it. When you're looking at the table, 13th is only 3 points away from 9th. So it's pretty good. That's pretty tight. Cagliari is unfortunately last in Serie A, but they are playing a team where if they do win, they could actually get out of relegation because Sampdoria is at 6 points in 15th, which they can tie. So that's the 6:30 game. Then we have 3 games slated at 9 a.m. with Empoli versus Atalanta, Genoa versus Sassuolo, and Udinese welcomes Bologna. So out of those games, obviously the Empoli versus Atalanta game is probably the biggest. Not biggest on paper, but biggest as far as repercussion within the standings. Atalanta hasn't looked all too convincing this year. But hey, Empoli did beat Juventus, so we could possibly see an upset on that one. At 12 o'clock, we see Napoli taking on Torino. I know Torino is a rival, but you never know. Maybe they might do a solid for Juventus and win this game, ending Napoli. Napoli, kudos to Napoli, the only team in the top 5 leagues to be undefeated. So, it's a pretty good feat for, I don't want to say a small team. They're not a small team anymore, but, for who they are, really. Good job for them. Juventus versus Roma obviously rounds us out at 2:45, and that's the game we're about to talk about right now. So, last week I reported that Dybala and Morata seem to be fit for the upcoming match against Roma, but now it's not looking like that might be the case. It's looking like out of the 2, Dybala will be on the bench. Morata may not be ready at all. Morata is aiming for the Zenit game, which is the following week. So there's a chance that he could be ready for that. I guess the Roma game's too soon. Dybala could be on the bench. But we will welcome back Artur and Moise Kean. Moise Kean never missed any time for Juve, but he got injured in his international duty with Italy. But he should be okay with playing. He did play the friendly game against Chieri, a little regional team in the Piemonte area. So, and they beat them 7-0, and he bagged a brace. So he is ready to go for the game against Roma. So if we do decide to play with the number 9, Moise Kean will be ready for that. But it's yet to be seen what it's going to look like. But Artur's back. Dybala's on the bench. Morata trained separately with Dybala, but it looks like he is not ready. Now, as far as news on the other side of the pitch for Roma, it looks like Roma will be down a huge player. And this one kind of hurts my heart because I really, truly do love this player. Again, I've always mentioned that this right here comes before this right here for me, especially because I was embraced in this more so than a club team. But I do love Juventus. I mean, hey, I got it tatted on me. But Lorenzo Pellegrini looks to be out with an illness. So what it looks like is he missed training yesterday because he was ill. He came down with a fever and had to miss the training, but it's not COVID related, which is good to know. The 25-year-old does have 7 goals from 10 matches this season, and 4 of them have come in Serie A. So Juve is looking to dodge a bullet in this game. How much is it going to hurt Roma? I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but it could because Pellegrini is given a roaming. He roams. He's given the freedom, is what I should actually be saying, not roaming. So, it looks like this will be a big loss. I mean, there's also Abram, who's in a race against time to face Juve as well. He started off the season amazing, but it looks like he is that. They're trying to make sure that he's deemed fit to face Juventus. So these are 2 big losses for Roma, because I mean that's their left winger and their number 9. So I mean, Juve do have the upper hand going into this game, but not all should be really taken advantage for, because let's be honest, Juventus hasn't looked that great. Yeah, they are on a 4-game win streak in Serie A, but they haven't looked convincing. So what does that look like going forward into the game on the weekend? I mean, I couldn't tell you. Juve need to stick to the system, stick to what's worked over the last 4 games. Do we welcome in a number 9? I'm not too sure. I don't think so. I think Juve is still going to continue going with the 4-4-2 and having Chiesa in a part of that too. Maybe even Bernardeschi still stepping in as a support. But one thing is for sure, it looks like that. Sorry, they're on a 3-game win streak. That's my fault. But yeah. So who knows what's gonna happen? But Juve versus Roma, there's a lot riding on this game, because if Juve go on to lose this game, this pretty much spells the end for, in my personal opinion, their opportunity at a top 4 finish in this. So the front duo of Paulo Dybala and Morata will not be available, like I mentioned before. Moise Kean is back. Kulusevski's going to be on the side. Kaio George, who didn't look too thrilling in, they played against Alessandria earlier in the international break, and apparently he didn't look too good due to fitness levels. I mean, the guy hasn't played, so he's just starting to get in. And apparently it's looking like Matthias de Ligt is going to be getting the start over Giorgio Chiellini. So now you're starting to see more de Ligt over Chiellini, which, I mean, I'm okay with that, regardless of however you do Chiellini or de Ligt. You're still getting a pretty strong center back. So obviously, one thing we haven't touched on in this is obviously Mourinho versus Juventus. Mourinho versus Juventus. There's always the back and forth, the banter from the fans, the jeering and the cheering and all that kind of stuff. So it's gonna be something to see. Obviously, the last time Mourinho was in Juve, don't forget the right. So Roma versus Juve is a very underrated rivalry, in my personal opinion. I'm not gonna lie. I actually look forward to these games. Everybody always talks about AC Milan versus Juventus, Inter versus Juventus, obviously Torino, the Derby della Mole. But like, you know what? Never doubt the electricity of Roma versus Juve. So with that being said, I'm gonna jump into my predicted starting 11. Szczesny obviously to start, Danilo, Bonucci, De Ligt, Sandro in the back, Cuadrado, Bentancur, Locatelli, and Bernardeschi, and then up top, Chiesa and Keane. I still think they're going to stick with the 4-4-2. They will get to the 4-2-3-1. I still do believe in that, but that's what I think. If I have to give a prediction on the score, I think it's personally going to be nothing, because like I've told you before, I'm done predicting sport score lines. All right, so I don't want to jinx the team, but that's all I have to say today. If you're looking to drop in the comment section what you want to hear me talk about. Let me know if you want to join me on one of these podcasts. I actually like doing this, just talking sports. Even though I'm talking to a screen, it's fun. It's fun doing this. I like doing it, getting, those 5-10 views, whatever the case is. But hey, listen, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me. I'm starting to try to get into those TikToks, into those Instagrams. But listen, support as much as you can. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to comment. Anything that boosts the algorithm of these videos. But with that being said, Forza Juve. I'll see you in the next video.